welcome into your practice and welcome to Studio B. My name is Jyoti Bainey and thank you for coming for a quick stretch break. This is about a 10-minute practice where we relieve any stress in the mind and the body. And today we're going to be talking about sphere of control and working with an affirmation. I do my best and I leave the rest. Let's jump right in by bringing the soles of the feet flat on the mat. You may have shoes on, totally fine if you're in your office. If the feet don't quite land firmly on the mat, place a rolled up blanket, books, something underneath you so you have that sense of grounding. And then come slightly forward on the chair so that the spine is nice and tall, and find a nice placement for the hands. And we're going to bring some awareness to the neck, and as you inhale, you can lift the chin up kind of to the seam of where the wall and the ceiling meet, and then drop it down towards the chest. And just continue gliding up and down in this vertical line in a way that feels natural to you. You can go slow, you can go fast, you can link it to the breath. And then the next time you pass through center, we're going to shift this horizontally. So starting to glide the head from side to side over the shoulders. And this is just a nice, sort of like a love letter to the neck for holding up our big, beautiful brains all day. And then we'll come to center and just kind of see how that feels. Beautifully done. Let's bring the arms up. I call these genie arms. My kids love that when I show them this. Hold on to opposite elbows and just start to glide from side to side. Now there's a few reasons I really love this. Primarily, it's a very mild twist, so it's nice when I've been sitting in a pretty static position. But I can also, as you see right now, kind of bring myself low, or I can let the elbows lift up high. And when I do this, I allow myself to kind of drop into different parts of my spine and noticing any areas that might need a little extra attention. So I can go slower in those areas and kind of maybe hold for a breath or two. Sometimes I even round my spine, kind of stretching in this upper back region in between the shoulder blades. And then other times I just sit straight up tall. And then release the hands to the lap. Again, check back in with the posture. Notice if it's gotten a little slouchy. We're going to bring our awareness to our hands. The hands do so much for us, particularly when we're working, typing, texting, driving. So lift the hands up, spread them wide like webs. Then imagine you have claws, and so you slightly curve in that top knuckle. Then bring the fingers together and attach them to your thumb like beaks. And then tuck the thumb in and fingers over. This is your paw. And we'll go through that sequence. Web, claw, beak, paw. You've got it. Keep going. Web, claw, beak, paw. And keep going for, I'm watching the clock. We'll go about 15 seconds here. As fast or as slow as you'd like. Maybe just starting to think, are there any situations in your personal or professional life right now where you feel like there are certain things in your control, but maybe you're attaching yourself to some things that are out of your control and giving them the power to stress you out. And then hold in your paw and start to roll. Now you could keep the elbows bent, or if you want a little bit more in the forearm region, straighten the arms out in front of you and roll. Yeah, reverse. And then shake that out. Nicely done. We're going to stand on up because we've been sitting a lot. Turn your chair to the side, and we're going to do something called strutting. And I love this. This is simply you kind of rock from side to side, picking up the opposite heel. Now what we're doing when we're sitting for long periods of time, the circulation isn't as optimal for the lower extremities. And so this is kind of re-energizing the circulation down in the lower extremities. Really good for managing blood pressure, heart rate, things like that. If you want to get a little funky and also get out of your head, start to roll opposite shoulder. So when my right heel is lifted, left shoulder, and keep going. Now this bilateral or cross-lateral movement in the body is also scientifically proven to be really good for concentration and focus, because it's a little bit like tapping your head and rubbing your belly. You have to focus on what you're doing here. And then go ahead and stop. Find both feet flat on the mat. And just take a breath here standing up tall. We're going to do one more standing shape, and that is a back bend. So we're going to slide the right leg behind us. Toes can stay, or I did my left leg behind us. Toes can stay on the mat. This is already a back bend. You could take it up a little bit if you'd like by floating the toes off the mat. And then for an added challenge, you could lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. And now notice the breath. Did it change? Keep the breath nice and smooth. And then lower the left hand. Well done. Left foot down. Take a breath here. Whew, both feet back on the ground. And now let's switch sides. Right leg behind us now. This is already a pretty energizing back bend right here. If you want to take it a step more, lift the right leg up. Ooh, we feel the glutes and the low back awaken. Maybe lift that right arm up to the ceiling. This is great for a midday pause when you need to kind of get yourself really alert and re-energized. Lower the hand, lower the foot, and take a breath. And then we'll turn the chair back forward. Just two more shapes here. So the hips can get a little cranky when we sit all the time. So this next shape is a little bit of TLC for the hips. And we start by taking the right foot, turn the knee out, and just connect the foot to the inner left ankle. And this could be option one, right here, maybe leaning forward a little bit and just taking some breaths. If you'd like to experiment by just seeing what happens, you could see, can I cross the right ankle over the left knee without any pain? We don't want to push beyond our limits. If that is accessible to you, lean forward and take a few breaths there. And as you breathe here, you might, as an option, maybe link that affirmation to the breath. You know, inhaling, I'm really doing my best. And exhaling, and I leave the rest. And then we'll start to lift up and out of that, and we're going to take a twist straight away. So uncross, turn your knees to the left, and then face the back of your chair, hands on the back of the chair, and gently use the back of your chair to twist around to your left. Look over the left shoulder. Now this is not an aggressive twist at all. This is a really nurturing, kind to the body twist, but can feel really good when we spend long hours seated. And then we'll unwind that. Come back to center, knees facing straight ahead. Check back in with the posture, hands on the lap, and take a breath. Just the act of noticing that you're breathing is going to calm that stress, that in and of itself. Second side, left knee out, left foot up against the ankle. This could be where you stay and maybe just lean forward and take a few mindful breaths here. Or some of you might choose to see, okay, can I cross the ankle over the knee? And then go ahead and lean forward and take a few breaths. And just that mantra again that's calling you in every moment to do your best. It's not a cop-out, but not to get attached to the things that you don't ultimately have any control over. So you do your best and you leave the rest. And then coming up, knees over to the right, last pose in this sequence today, hands on the back of the chair, spiraling that beautiful spine of yours and looking over the right shoulder for just a couple breaths here to nourish the spine. And then slowly coming out of the twist, making your way back, knees straight ahead. I'm going to slide back in the chair. I'd advise you to do so as well. Let the spine rest on the back and hands in the lap, maybe palms up. We're just going to take 3 breaths to close this brief practice. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, maybe bringing in some clarity and some focus. Exhaling to release any uncertainty or doubt. And then last inhale, knowing that you do your best by being very clear about the things you control. And exhaling, you release anything that's outside of your control. You let it be. And then opening your eyes, welcoming yourself back to the rest of your day and whatever that holds for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to practice with me. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a beautiful day.